Another interesting adjunct you may want to add to your massage strokes are joint mobilization moves. We talked about this in the fundamentals tape about how to mobilize different vertebrae and start thinking about how one joint relates to another. The hip joint is one of the most locked up joints that people have in their bodies, and if you can give them some more freedom there by moving it through the range of motion rather than just working it in a passive position, you can really increase their mobility. So I'm just going to show you a few stretches to do here that are a little bit different from, say, yoga stretches. I'm working with the ligamentous component of that joint articulation. So if we take a look at Dina's hip here, we can go through some of the ranges of motion that are involved in hip movement. This would be hip flexion. This would be hip extension. Now, we're not going to be able to increase extension very much because we're going to just come to neutral here. So I'm not going to talk about that right now. But this would be internal rotation of the femur. You can see it when her leg is down. Basically, it's just running like this. So this is internal rotation, and this is external rotation. What you can do is with the knee at a right angle here, if you brace that here, you can use this as a lever. So what I do is I move Dina into a position till I feel a rotational component coming in. As when I move her past here, her leg wants to externally rotate. So what I might do is go to her flexion in point here, keep this knee at a right angle, and then I will internally rotate. And I don't keep an active movement here. I just go to the in range, and I call this almost like picking a lock. I try to move with small, steady little increments until I find the right angle that all of a sudden this hip can start rotating. Then I might move them more into flexion. Try it again. Go into internal, go into external. So if I step back, you can see what I'm doing is I am rotating this lever that's going straight down into her acetabulum to work on internal and external rotation. I can also, being careful not to compress the patella, just put some pressure straight down on the knee so that it's going to be moving like this in the acetabulum. I can do some gentle rocking. I can come near the end and say, what position do I want? I'm going to move her leg over here so that I'm almost pushing it out of that acetabulum a little bit. And there I feel a little bit of a melt. I can open up her leg to abduction here and do the same thing. If I put her leg in a neutral position, I feel like this is about as far as it wants to go. I might just bring her to that end range, support it with my legs so those muscles aren't contracting, and just push down. See if I can increase that. If I want to do a stroke while I'm working there, that's fine. But I'm basically working with the joint. Once I get it down to its end range, I may want to take my hand underneath here, have the knee bent, and work internal and external rotation in this position. People will become limited in internal and external rotation in different positions. So some people are very, very mobile in internal and external rotation in a flexed position or in an extended position, but not in an abducted position. So the main thing you want to do is you want to be sure to support this knee so that there isn't torsion between the tibia and the femur here, and start working with these rotational issues.